Listen carefully, because the truth about distance is not what your emotions want you to believe. Silence does not automatically mean disappearance. No contact does not erase significance. When you leave someone's daily life, you do not necessarily leave their memory, their patterns, or the questions they never resolved. But there is something more important you must understand. You do not need to chase proof that you are still on his mind. Your power begins the moment you stop demanding evidence. The old version of you needs to know. The new version of you knows who you are. The old version checks. The new version builds. The old version wonders what he is thinking. The new version asks what she is becoming. That distinction changes everything. Because when contact disappears, the mind often becomes louder. When someone was once familiar, their absence can create a psychological gap. A conversation ends, a routine disappears, a familiar presence is suddenly missing, and the mind naturally revisits what once occupied it. That does not mean you can read his thoughts. It does not mean he will return. It does not mean every silence is secretly a confession. It means human memory is powerful, and your mistake is believing that you need to interfere with it. You do not. You have been trained to think that if someone is no longer contacting you, you must somehow remind them of your existence. Post something, send something, create jealousy, appear somewhere, manufacture a reaction stop. That is the old self begging for confirmation. The old self says, "How do I make him think about me?" The new self says, "Why have I made his attention the measurement of my worth?" That question is the beginning of freedom. Your value does not rise because someone misses you. Your value does not fall because someone is silent. Your identity cannot be rented to another person's attention. Understand this law. Attention is powerful, but dependence upon attention is weakness. You can appreciate someone's presence without becoming dependent upon their presence. You can remember someone without pursuing them. You can care without abandoning yourself. You can wonder without surrendering your entire day to the question. This is where definite purpose enters your life. Napoleon Hill repeatedly emphasized the power of a definite purpose, a clearly chosen direction, strong enough to organize your thoughts and actions. When your purpose becomes stronger than your need for external validation, your entire relationship with absence changes. You stop asking, "Does he still think about me?" You start asking, "What am I building while he is not here?" That is the question that transforms you. Because while you are staring at an empty notification screen, your life is still moving. Your goals are still waiting. Your mind is still developing. Your character is still being formed. Your future is still being constructed. There is a version of you that believes silence is punishment. There is another version that understands silence can become space. Space to think, space to recover, space to rebuild. Space to discover how much of your identity had become attached to another person's response. The old you measures time by how long it has been since he contacted you. The new you measures time by how much you have grown. The old you interprets every silence. The new you refuses to invent explanations. The old you searches for hidden signs. The new you searches for a stronger self. The old you wants to be remembered. The new you becomes unforgettable to herself. That final distinction matters. You should not rebuild yourself merely so someone else notices. You rebuild because your previous identity was too small for the life ahead. You do not become disciplined so he regrets losing access to you. You become disciplined because your purpose demands discipline. You do not become confident so he comes back. You become confident because you refuse to spend another year doubting yourself. You do not improve your life to trigger someone's curiosity. You improve your life because your life deserves your attention. That is transmutation. You take the energy created by uncertainty and convert it into progress. You take longing and convert it into learning. You take disappointment and convert it into discipline. You take silence and convert it into self-mastery. The emotion itself does not have to control you. You decide what the emotion becomes. This is where the subconscious mind becomes important. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I need him to contact me so I can feel okay," you teach your subconscious dependence. But if you repeatedly tell yourself, "I am complete enough to continue my life regardless of another person's decision," you begin constructing a different internal reality. Your thoughts become instructions. Your repeated thoughts become beliefs. Your beliefs influence your behavior. Your behavior shapes your circumstances. So be careful what you rehearse. Do not spend every night imagining conversations that may never happen. Do not build an entire future around an assumption. Do not turn silence into a fantasy. And do not confuse hope with certainty. The truth is stronger than fantasy. Maybe he remembers you. Maybe he wonders about you. Maybe he has moved forward. You cannot control that, and you do not need to. Your power begins where your control begins. You control what you think about. You control what you do next. You control whether you continue living or remain emotionally frozen around an unanswered question. That is the real test. Not whether he is thinking about you. Whether you can stop thinking about whether he is thinking about you. This is the moment the old identity fights back. It whispers, "But what if he has forgotten me?" Answer it. "Then I will still remember who I am," it whispers. "What if he never contacts me again?" Answer it. "Then my life continues." It whispers, "What if he is with someone else?" Answer it. "His choices do not determine my worth." It whispers, "What if I was not enough?" Answer it. "One person's decision is not a verdict on my value." It whispers, "But I need to know the truth." Answer it. "The truth I control is what I choose to become." That is how you reclaim your mind. You stop fighting battles that have no battlefield. You stop trying to enter another person's thoughts. You stop turning uncertainty into obsession. You stop confusing emotional intensity with destiny. Because sometimes the strongest move is not another message, it is restraint. Not because you are trying to manipulate someone. Not because you are playing a psychological game. Because you have finally decided that your attention belongs to you. Let him have his thoughts. Let him have his memories. Let him have his choices. You have your life, and your life is not a waiting room. There is a difference between being remembered and being respected. There is a difference between being missed and being chosen. There is a difference between someone thinking about you and someone being capable of building something healthy with you. Do not reduce your standards simply because you are curious about someone's feelings. Zoxos matter. Consistency matters. Character matters. A thought inside someone's mind cannot build your future. A real future requires real decisions and real behavior. So if he reaches out someday, you will not meet him as the person who spent months waiting beside the door. You will meet the moment as someone who kept living. You will not demand answers from desperation. You will evaluate reality with clarity. You will not abandon your standards because nostalgia returned. You will not mistake temporary attention for genuine commitment. You will observe. You will think. You will decide. That is power. Not control over another person. Control over yourself. There is a strange thing that happens when you stop chasing confirmation. Your mind becomes quieter. Your standards become clearer. Your presence becomes less desperate. You begin to understand that being remembered is not the goal. Being fulfilled is. And that is when the entire situation loses its ability to control you. You no longer wake up asking who thought about you. You wake up asking what your definite purpose requires from you today. You no longer measure your worth through messages. You measure it through integrity. You no longer spend your energy trying to become someone else's obsession. You become obsessed with becoming someone you respect. That is the transformation. The old you needed to be chosen. The new you chooses. The old you waits. The new you moves. The old you seeks reassurance. The new you builds certainty from within. The old you asks, does he still care? The new you asks, do I still care about becoming the person I promised myself I would become? That question should shake you, because time does not stop while you analyze someone else's silence. Weeks become months, months become years. And one day you may realize that the person you were so desperate to remain on the mind of was never supposed to become the center of your mind. You were your purpose was, your future was, your character was, your life was. So stop trying to force yourself into someone else's thoughts. You cannot command another person's mind, but you can command your own. You can decide what deserves your attention. You can decide what deserves your energy. You can decide what deserves your future. That is a far greater power. And if you truly are still on his mind, you do not need to chase that fact into existence. If you are remembered, let the memory exist without your interference. If you are missed, let the absence speak for itself. If he chooses to return, let his actions reveal why. And if he does not, let your life prove that you were never waiting to be rescued by his return. This is not about making him regret losing you. It is about becoming so deeply committed to your own purpose that his regret, his curiosity, his silence, or his attention no longer determines your emotional weather. That is freedom. That is mastery. That is the death of the old identity. The old you needed contact. The new you needs clarity. The old you needed validation. The new you needs purpose. The old you wanted to be chased. The new you refuses to chase what cannot meet her halfway. The old you feared being forgotten. The new you understands that her greatest responsibility is not being remembered by someone else. It is remembering herself. Remember your standards. Remember your purpose. Remember your dignity. Remember the person you were before you started measuring your worth through someone else's attention. And when the urge to reach backward returns, pause, breathe, look forward, ask yourself, what would the strongest version of me do with this energy? Then do that. Build, learn, Kate work. Grow live. Let the silence remain silent. You do not have to fill every empty space. Some spaces are meant to reveal who you become when nobody is giving you direction. And that is where your greatest transformation can begin. Because the truth is not simply that you may still exist somewhere in his thoughts. The deeper truth is that he does not need to exist in yours. Not as a question, not as an obsession, not as a measurement of your worth, not as the unfinished chapter that prevents you from opening the next one. You can remember without returning. You can care without chasing. You can love your memories without living inside them. And you can walk forward without needing anyone to understand why. So make the decision now. I will not chase silence. I will not manufacture attention. I will not measure my worth through another person's thoughts. I will not put my life on pause for an answer I cannot control. My mind belongs to me. My purpose belongs to me. My future belongs to me. If I am remembered, let it be without my pursuit. If I am missed, let it be without my manipulation. If someone returns, let them return with actions. And if they never return, I will still become everything I was meant to become. Because the ultimate victory is not making someone think about you. The ultimate victory is reaching the day when you no longer need to know whether they do.